Welcome to American Horror Story, covering the Coven. Thank you again to whoever suggested that title.
Good.
Really appreciate it.
Coven covered.
This was episode 11 of the season, the penultimate episode. This is the penultimate episode of Covering the Coven. There is going to be plenty of spoilers. My name's Elliott Morgan.
I'm Dani Rosenberg.
And I'm Steve Zaragoza.
We're so happy to see you guys.
So happy to see you guys. So this, I gotta just start off by saying this was probably my favorite episode of the whole season.
It wasn't my favorite,
great.
but it was definitely the one for me that did the biggest 180. Because halfway through, I was like, "This is boring. I don't know. I have no interest." But then it like did. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Then it was you know.
Well, the reason I can see why you thought it was boring, but the reason why I would objectively say it wasn't is because I do.
No, you wouldn't you would subjectively say, Steve.
Well, I object to what you say.
Oh, okay.
Because I object, Your Honor.
You object to say.
Because and this is something I said last night to someone, I can't remember who, it might have been myself. I talk to myself a lot at night. And this isn't my favorite season, but these are my favorite characters of all of the seasons.
Interesting.
Because I love this universe they've created. I love the witches. I love what they're up to. And I love this, like, the opening just made everything for me.
I loved that.
Fantastic.
It just
I love when they
so
do little
good.
bits like that, and they did so much fun stuff.
I mean,
And breaking down the wonders is like really easy storytelling.
Yeah.
And they nail it when it comes to those.
You liked it a lot? Did you like the
To watch all
episode?
of that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I liked it because my favorite thing in the whole world, TV, movies, anything, is watching people get humbled. And I've been waiting to watch Madison get humbled for
in an
episodes.
epic way.
Episodes. Those were some tight punches.
Yeah.
The sound effects were great. She kept going. She kept going.
It was kind of
And
early too,
I was
though,
like
because you could hear
bouncing in
like
my
the
seat.
you
When
could
you
hear
have
the
somebody-
chains hitting.
When you have somebody crawling away,
Yeah.
right, and you rather than like drag them back, you just like kick
You
them
kick
in the
them
butt.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty
So it's
awesome.
nice. Good butt shots too from what's her name. It was nice.
And I love that Madison tried to fight back, and it was like, no way.
Yeah.
Well,
Hollywood.
but that's like something to bring up because Madison is pretty powerful. We've seen her powers, and she can like move shit around.
Yeah.
And like move and like teleport basically.
Pyrokinesis.
Yeah, and then
the lamest of all of the wonders.
But I think,
offense,
but I mean,
pyrokinetics out
but
there.
you'd love it.
Unless you're in
If you're camping,
if it's the
you're
polar
everyone's
vortex,
favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
for
I mean,
sure.
you could like fire starter shit. Like if you're in a real pickle, and you're like and you could just be like, boom,
I mean,
everyone's on fire.
I'm not saying it's not completely useless.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
compared to the other ones, it's pretty. But
You
anyway,
should watch
Well,
X.
she's very
You should
powerful.
watch X2 because Pyro's in X-Men 2. X2.
No one should watch X2.
Oh.
And you get to see what he does.
I've
He
seen
has
it, but
the
I-
ball of fire that he.
Yeah, we like that movie.
yeah.
So the point I was trying to make is that we've got Madison, who's very powerful, and then later on we have Jessica Lange's character being beaten too as well, and it's like, and we've seen how powerful they are, and I feel like when you're being beaten by someone, like why not just use your fucking awesome witch powers to like, stop
But
this?
I feel like that requires a lot of focus. It
Maybe?
requires
Yeah.
energy, and if you catch them off guard and they're weak, they're not going to be able to. They're scrambling mentally probably to be like, what's
Well,
happening?
There's
Accept
also
that.
something you
Accept
said. If you get into a scrappy fight with somebody and you have like a gun or something, a lot of people will fist fight even if they have
That's
a gun
true.
because they want to prove
Well,
that
because when
they're
you're throwing punches, you don't have time to be
dominant.
like, let me get my gun.
Right.
Well, and maybe
that's true, too.
Madison.
There's fists coming at you.
Maybe there's some part of her psyche that was just like, yeah, maybe I deserve
But
this.
the first laugh out
Deserves my
loud
kick-
moment that I
basket.
had of watching it was when Misty Day comes back and she's like pissed.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh snap, no more like dumb like Stevie Nicks crap. Like she is mad. Comes in, smacks the crap out of Madison. And she's like, you think I'm just some dumb swamp
she's like,
girl? And then Madison's like, yeah. And I was like, she might be my favorite character just
Yeah,
because of those
I know.
lines.
No,
But she's
she's a
such a
bitch.
teenager.
Yeah, just yeah. That's exactly what I thought.
I did like Misty singing "Landslide" in the coffin. That was great.
Yeah, that's right.
So good. Yeah.
There was a big death toll this season.
Lot of
This
people
Rack 'em up.
episode.
Let's rack them up. The order it goes in is Bassett dies first, and then Bates, but via an exchange that happens between the Keymaster Devil Man and Gabrielle Sidibe, where Gabrielle Sidibe's like, hey, you got a freaking deal, right? And then the devil is like, yeah, I got a deal. And she's like, well, she's not going to be able to hold up her end of the bargain by getting you babies. if nobody's seen this show, that's my favorite part. I want to hear from the people who like don't watch the show and are just like, I don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's this girl and she can't get sacrificed babies anymore because her body's cut up into a million pieces, and so that lifts the sort of spell that's over her of immortality, and so she's able to die. And then Gabrielle Sidibe is like, well, if she's gonna die, I'm gonna go murder Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Who becomes a tour guide in the house she used to live in by, of course, murdering the other tour guide.
She got a haircut.
Yeah,
I know. She got a makeover.
I thought it looked good. I was like,
makeover.
look at you.
But how would she even know to get that haircut?
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
she probably went to a salon and said, "Make me up,
Make me look my age.
make me look modern."
So you have those 3 deaths. You have the Bates, the Bassett, and then you have. Oh wait. Oh yeah. No.
Bates,
and
Bassett,
then,
Lang.
sorry guys. Yeah, Lang.
Yes.
I stroked out. Jessica Lang and.
By the way, Bates, Bassett, and Lang sounds like a great folk group that I would listen to.
Sure. You know what? Soul. Bates, Bassett.
Soul, Bates, Bassett, and Lang.
And then okay, guys, this is crazy.
Listen, hold on.
Okay,
It is really good.
so-
Wait, seriously.
Cordelia, she's like.
Cordelia, wait.
Real dumb, right? She's like, I when I had eyes, I couldn't read minds, and then when I couldn't have them, I could read minds, and now I got eyes, so I must get rid of my eyes. And so she stabs herself in the face twice,
Yeah.
like a really dumb child,
Yeah.
basically.
I
And
mean,
then
but she's lost, man. She doesn't know what
lost,
she's doing.
But you can't be lost all the time. She's not. She's either dumb or she's wise.
I think
Save the
she's
both.
dumb, and it's okay.
What sucks, I was very like, she's gonna be the Supreme, and I'm like, no,
She's too dumb.
She's just
Yeah, she's
dumb.
just-
She's really dumb. But I love. Can we talk really quick? When you first see her with her eyes, it's like, wait a minute. This is like when someone takes Photoshop and kind of like slowly
Yeah.
puts someone's eyes a little
The
lower.
My
eyes-
friend said she looks like a dumb alien.
It just it looked a little like it was hard not to laugh.
It looked like she bought it at Party City, and it was like, Kit, how to.
Yeah, exactly.
And they-
Yeah.
they
They like
had no
taped
shame.
it, and then
Yeah.
it had like probably, I'm gonna guesstimate 7 minutes of camera time.
Yeah, and it's okay. Like, and look, the effect is not the only thing that was funny about it though. Was the distance. Like,
Yeah, because they were a lot
the
lower.
shape.
yeah, they're so low.
It looked like
They put
it
them
was-
underneath her eyebrows.
It was like a sickle shape thing, like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
like
Well, I
were
think
like,
what they did was, correct me if I'm wrong, is they took the middle lid or the bottom lid of her eye and made the bottom lid her top lid. And then
I think
made
they
it
did.
right, and then so it was like, wait a minute.
Because it looked like she stabbed her eyes out, and then they just slid down her face.
Yeah, but the
she's
eyes
kind of melted.
but the eyes inside really cool looking and
Yeah.
gross, and like
I
you get a
guess,
real close up and
but,
it's all scarred and
I'm
gross.
not good enough at like differentiating between stupid stuff and not stupid stuff to be like
I
it looked
I was
dumb.
like, this is gross. It's so funny.
You know what they could have done, man, is they just could have put like, and I'm not a makeup guy here, but they could have gotten like basically condom rings, cut the middle part out,
Yep.
like, you know, put it around her real eye, gross that up, and then give her the contacts that look all fucked up again, and just make it look like there's some puff around. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
or
Like,
sunglasses.
don't put them lower and
You
shit.
should have sunglasses.
Oh.
Sunglasses was where it was solved.
There's a scene where she takes off her sunglasses in front of Axeman, and they show it from back of her head, and he's looking at her. There's no reaction. None.
Yeah,
He's
well-
just
Yeah.
like, Kate, I want him to be like,
Axeman's seen it
"Woo!"
all.
Yeah,
He's seen it all.
axed a lot of people
I
to death.
guess.
I feel like he wouldn't.
He's
but
axed
He
a lot of
didn't even
questions.
flinch, though.
The reason that they met was because now she finds out that she can read minds and find out what people are thinking and what they've done via their belongings. So Jessica Lange gives her a necklace, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, well, didn't Grandma have a ring?" And like she's like trying to find all of these things to like glean as much information.
Well, and she
as
saw the
possible.
future, which
what
is
she
cool.
finds out is that Jessica Lange is planning on murdering the entire Coven brutally, and then leaving the Axeman behind. So Cordelia's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go to the Axeman," and she'll be like, "Hey, just so you know, Jessica Lange isn't in love with you." Axeman's like, "Oh no. Best like murder in my opinion in the season so far, when Jessica Lange turns around, pours whiskey, and then starts telling a story, which is what they do in this show all the time. They say some crazy story, and she gets to the word calico, and then she's mauled in the back by an axe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty
she was
intense.
Like, when I was a child, my mother gave me a calico.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, also,
And he
That
did
was
a
the
lot.
second
There
laugh
were
out
a
loud one.
bunch of stabs,
Yeah.
a bunch of blood.
yeah, and also
Now-
we can't. I mean, I know this is a big part of the thing, but we can't gloss over that we've gone to hell now in the show too.
Yeah, we have.
Well, the name of the
Lord Hell.
episode was Go to Hell.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
and I love the interpretation. Like, and in the
It's
beginning,
different for every person.
Right, and when we had that fun black and white movie in the beginning, it said that there was this thing where you can go into the spirit realm, and I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna get to see that? And I love the interpretation of this season of seeing hell, which is basically the worst time of your life forever.
Interestingly, too, I mean, Queenie, she escapes. She manifests that wonder.
Yeah, she goes to that chicken shack she worked at.
Yeah, that's what it was. She was in her hell.
Yeah, she was able to transcend into the dead world.
Papa Leg was explaining to her like why she's there, and some dude walks up and he's like, "Hey, like I want to get my chicken," and Papa Leg gets this deep voice and goes, "Go to the back of the line."
And he's like, "That man is damned to eternity to smell the chicken but never eat it."
Did I come back to this episode?
No, you're dead, dude.
I hate this show. Man.
You're dead, bro.
In fact, your entire storyline was basically ended abruptly and with little to no fanfare.
But anyway, that was Queenie's way of finding out through Papa Legba how to kill Kathy Bates and Marie Laveau.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And back to her saying that Calico story, though. How cool is that?
Great.
That's great.
Awesome.
Great.
Anyway, guys, then the Axeman busts down the stairs like, I'm going to kill all you witches. And finally, again, we have what I've been waiting for, a coven. Because it's called American Horror Story Coven.
I love the knife thing.
Here's the thing, is like, Fiona was the worst thing in all of their lives, but she was their supreme, and the Coven's going to avenge her.
Yeah.
Avenge her and also come together without her.
Right.
Which is like the entire opposite thing of the purpose of a supreme.
And they were in front of her portrait, and they're like, she was this and that, and she was that, and Cordelia's just like, fuck it, she was the worst fucking, she didn't care about the Coven at all. But I love how Axeman busts in, and everyone's already high gear, and what's her name? Julie Roberts' daughter.
Oh, she's like, wow.
Yeah, she's like, you came into the wrong...
And they're like...
yeah, they just push her, force push.
And Evan Peters tries to help, and he just gets kind of tossed aside real quick, and Missy Day's like, we don't need a man to protect us.
That's pretty good.
But also one that has no purpose besides occasionally hurting people.
Exactly.
There's no, like, Axeman.
I'll strangle you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then very poetically, Axeman gets murdered.
The same way he was killed in, like, the 30s. But that was great sound effects, too, because it was like, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah.
So cool.
I mean,
they stabbed him like 80 times.
It was so violent.
It was hard to watch.
And there's blood just like...
And so someone tweeted at me earlier, and I heard you mention it too. It's like, he's a ghost, for God's sakes. How are they?
How do they kill a ghost?
Well, I'll tell you, it's very easy. Zoe brought him back to life using the Ouija board, and also in the same episode, Myrtle. In fact, when they threw him against those stairs, Myrtle says he's back from to the mortal coil. Like that. This is a man who's back to the mortal coil.
Yep. Okay.
So
thank you.
I mean, the show checks out pretty much in every way. Like, it's best just not.
Okay. So
there's no loopholes or
no, not at all. Not at all.
All right. So next week, the entire episode is going to be all of the girls doing the 7 wonders to find out who the Supreme is.
It's going to be like the third Harry Potter when they do the
Quidditch.
No, I am wrong. It's the 4th Harry Potter.
I didn't see that. Was that at Sundance?
Yeah, it's a little indie film.
Yeah.
Emma Roberts actually produced it.
That's great.
Holy hell.
Do you think it'll get picked up? You think someone will buy it?
I don't know. Fox Searchlight right now is kind of backing down on things right now because they're after like
final vote.
Oh, sure. What's the final vote?
Who do you think the next Supreme is?
Oh, next Supreme. I don't know. You know, I'd like for them to do American Horror Story style craziness and just flip everything upside down and bring in someone we've never seen before.
Zachary Quinto.
I want Zachary Quinto.
I want Zachary Quinto to walk in.
Or I want...
But I want him with luscious locks.
Yeah.
Just as a girl, still a witch, like a woman.
Yeah, he's playing a woman, or maybe he's like a drag queen or something.
Yeah.
That'd be great. He's like, I'm a warlock witch. And by the way, we never saw warlocks, which was kind of gross.
Good,
not gross, but kind of not cool. But how about the hot maid girl again?
I think I don't know if I had to guess based on what I've seen. I think Queenie's a good option, but I'm gonna go honestly with Madison. Not because it could be any of them, but I think I want Madison because she's my favorite. It used to be Zoe, but Zoe now is kind of this weird counterpart with Evan Peters, and I don't like that. I want my Supreme to stand alone.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that it's Madison because too, when they're looking at the painting and everybody's like, nice things, Madison's like, she was great.
Yeah.
Also, if they're gonna keep with like this Supreme who's like an awful bitch that doesn't give a shit, then like Madison is a perfect next Supreme.
I think they're gonna Hamlet all the chicks.
Yeah.
And then Myrtle's gonna be the last one standing, and she's gonna be like, "Wonderful beautiful.
Oh, because she
And,
wanted to
like-
be the supreme when she was young.
And then she'll just like she'll bring some more girls in, and the season will end with her like bringing up the new witches as the new supreme.
Aw, I want
that's
that. And I've
And
actually...
she'll
that-
find the baby. She'll find the baby. That'll be a witch.
Is that baby still around?
The butler baby.
Oh, the butler baby.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. Butler baby. Well,
Butler
and I've
baby's
heard-
a cool baby.
Well, I've
I mean, we
also
assume.
He's a cool baby. We also heard that they could possibly spin off American Horror Story Coven into its own series. You guys hear that rumor? That it could possibly go off, like American Horror Story will continue on. And you will have the choice to watch American Horror Story, whatever the next one
If
is.
they could
Let's not
keep
do
all
that.
those actors, but I don't know if they can.
I know, that's the thing. I mean, but they've already killed off some of the major ones.
Yeah.
So...
Well, guys, thanks for joining
right.
us. Go over to netflix.com/SourceFed if you want a month of free streaming. You can check out the first and second seasons of American Horror Story, which are as a whole superior to this one, but this one's the most fun in my opinion. And my name is Elliott Morgan. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's Danny Rosenberg, and that is Steve Zaragoza.
Can we get people to send in their, like, fun fan art of what's her name's eyes?
Just draw a bunch of
I
those
just want-
fucking eyeballs.
I want those eyes.
I want them on a shirt.
They look
I
like
want to
earthworms,
Photoshop...
like, or slugs.
I do look like, but I want someone to Photoshop a picture of her face and bring her eyes even lower. Like
Just her mouth.
Yeah, down to her mouth.
I want her to have two mouths screaming, doing like her favorite.
Let's
and
do
then
that.
One, like,
and one eye, so it's like
maybe
mouths
both the
and
eyes.
one
Let's
of the
not get
eyes.
ridiculous. Both the eyes.
Let's not get ridiculous.